got an IBM ThinkPad, or ThickPad here. I think this is good to install Windows 95 on. Not exactly sure when this came out, but I think it's got a Pentium with MMX CPU, got sound, it's got PC card slots with a Ethernet adapter, although I don't have the dongle for that. Hard disk bay there. It's got stereo speakers. It's got a CD-ROM and floppy drive. I think that might be an infrared port there. Got VGA out, a printer port, serial port, one USB, that's quite exciting, power and a PS2 mouse connection. It's a model 380XD. It's got a track point, which is good. None of that touchpad nonsense. This is the drive caddy. Looks like it can take very thick old hard disks, mechanical hard disks. I bought this thing for it, which is a compact flash to 44-pin IDE adapter. I wasn't expecting it to have two slots on it, but I've opened it up and determined that this one's the master. I've written M there. Got a 4 gig compact flash card or 6 gigabyte micro drive. It might be interesting to try that, although I'm not sure if that works. There's also a 4 gigabyte micro drive. Perhaps we should try this and see what happens. If that fits. It should do. It sticks up a bit. Good thing is it has this tab so you can get it out again once it's been inserted into the computer. The casing on this has gone really sticky. There's black stuff coming off everywhere, which is not very nice. Now let's turn it on with this micro drive and see what happens. This is the adapter for the computer, the power adapter. It's 16 volts, 3 amps, and standard cloverleaf plug on that. Let's see if we can get that going. It's got some errors, I'm not sure what those are. Oh, we need to set the clock. Okay, I think that looks like a good time. Got a Windows 98 startup disk here that we can use to boot it. It's got a picture on the screen that we can't see on the capture saying insert a disk and press F1 to continue. Okay, I guess that means it couldn't boot off that micro drive, but who knows if that even works. Ah, here we go. For some reason it didn't seem to be willing to show the output. So there's a VGA to HDMI adapter to get the capture. Probably should have done it without CD-ROM support since we don't really need that. Okay, let's run fdisk. Display partition information. Okay, so it's found a drive there, about 32, but it's not taking up the full drive. This might be something I imaged from another place, I'm not sure. Maybe it came from this drive originally and it got imaged because I had several of these micro drives and some of them didn't work. It's the drive from my portable media player. I suppose we can format it. We're going to format the drive. Let's delete the partition 3, delete primary partition. Which partition? 1. So it's digital video player hard disk. Are you sure? Yes. Okay, so that's done. It's probably going to be a lot faster if we use the flash drive rather than a micro drive. But anyway, this is fun. Make the partition active, yes, that's very important. And use all maximum available size, yes. So it'll be a 6 GB partition. Now we must restart the computer. Okay. So we'll turn it off. And turn it on again. This time we'll start it without CD-ROM support since we don't need that. And that will make it a lot quicker to start. Without. Now we should have a C drive, but it's not formatted yet, so we'll format it. Format C drive. All data will be lost, that's okay, there's no data, we already lost it by changing the partitions around. This might take a very long time. We'll pause here and come back once it has finished formatting. Okay, it's nearly finished formatting. Writing out file allocation table. Calculating free space. Okay. Enter a label. 6G micro drive. That seems like a good one. 6GB micro drive. Okay, now we should copy the system to it. Sys C. This should make it bootable, and then we'll test that. System transferred, that's good. So we shouldn't need this disk anymore, the boot disk. Let's try it. We'll reboot the computer. And it should now boot off its internal micro drive. No, it doesn't. Yeah, that's a bit disappointing after all that stuff we did. So it doesn't want to boot off the micro drive. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure if there's any kind of BIOS thing you can get to on this computer. Okay, maybe we need to use this instead, if this micro drive's not going to do it. We'll just check what's on the drive without CD-ROM. So it's got the stuff on it. I don't know why it does not boot. Okay. So it wasn't the master slot. Okay, maybe there's something wrong with that micro drive. I'm not sure what to do about that. We'll try the compact flash card. Okay, I formatted this compact flash drive on another computer just to make it a bit faster. So let's try sysing that and see if it will boot. Okay, let's check C. It exists, it's empty. sys C system transferred. So we'll reboot it and we'll check if it boots. Look at that, there you go. So now we've confirmed the drive is bootable. What we're going to do is copy the Windows setup files onto it and the drivers, and then we can do the Windows setup. I've copied the Windows 95 setup files and some drivers onto this now. So we shouldn't need this. Okay, so it's Win95 setup. It's going to do a check. Okay, to continue, couldn't do the Scandisk because high mem was not loaded. To continue a setup, press escape. Maybe that means we should have booted off this anyway, maybe. But the mouse even works, that's really good. Setup is preparing the Windows 95 setup wizard that will guide us through the rest of the setup process. Now we agree. Going to collect information about this computer. We're going to install to C Windows directory. Checking the disk for problems. I hope there's no problems. Now let's do a custom installation. Let's type in the key. Good. I remember the key from having typed it in tens of times. Maybe not hundreds, but a lot of times over the years. Back in the day, analyzing the computer. Shall we look for hardware? Yes. Yep, we've got a CD-ROM, we've got that. I don't think it's going to find those though because it needs the right drivers. I've copied the drivers onto the compact flash card so we can install them once Windows is set up. Now we can choose what we want. Let's put on all the accessories. Don't know if we need any of this. Let's put on that Piper terminal, we probably want that. Disk tools, yeah, we'll have those. That sounds good. Fax, we don't need that. Multimeter, we should probably put on all that stuff. That's good. Windows messaging, I don't think we need that. Don't know if we'll actually get this on a network, but just in case. Let's put in TCP. Should have left that stuff that was in there. Printed for Microsoft Networks. Turn that stuff on, that's good. That seems like a good thing. A ThickPad. XD, that's good. Computer settings. I think we can change this to oh, that's display adapter, isn't it? We can't do that yet. What I was looking for was monitor, because we can set the monitor to the correct resolution. It's a standard PC. Okay. Standard mouse. Advanced power management. I think it's interesting, you can choose the user interface. You can have it as Windows 3.1 style if you wanted to. Maybe we should try that one day, see what it's like. So I think all that stuff's good. We won't make a startup disk now. We've got one that works. Hopefully that one will stay working. It's going to copy the files. Windows 95 lets you unlock the potential of your PC. Windows 95 is the easiest Windows yet. The new and improved interface is simpler and more intuitive to use. You can click the Start button to quickly open programs, find documents, and use system tools. Use the taskbar to switch between programs as easily as changing channels on your TV. That's true, because it doesn't have grouping and hide descriptions like modern Windows defaults to, which is really annoying. You can get more done with this older version of Windows. It's more powerful, smoother multitasking, that's quite good. Faster printing and disk access. Have more fun. From its friendly, intuitive interface, definitely is a lot more than the modern ones. To its speedy performance, Windows 95 provides you with the most enjoyable computing experience ever. I agree. It's also more accessible. Built-in accessibility options make Windows 95 more accessible to everyone. Larger fonts, high contrast color schemes, large mouse pointers, and pointer trails make your screen easier to read. Filter keys, sticky keys, and mouse keys make your keyboard and mouse pointer easier to control. Plug and play! Just plug it in and turn it on. That's how easy it is to install and use plug-and-play devices in Windows 95. Windows 95 automatically sets up plug-and-play compatible devices such as printers, CD-ROMs. Take it on the road. Windows 95 makes it easier to work with your portable PC, like this one, if you're on the road or away from your desk. Except the battery in this is gone, so we're not going to be working far away from our desks, only as far as the cable reaches. Communicate with anyone. The Microsoft Exchange client is your universal inbox for communicating with the outside world. Use rich text to personalize your email messages with different fonts, colors, and styles. The Microsoft Network. The Microsoft Network is an affordable, easy-to-use online service that connects you to the world of electronic information. Communicate with people worldwide using email, bulletin boards, and the internet. Register now to get the most out of Windows 95. You need to register your software. Registered users receive these benefits: notification of updates and new products, access to technical support, information about other services available from Microsoft. Did anyone do that? And were those things beneficial? Getting started. The best and fastest way to get into high gear with Windows 95 is by getting experience via online help. You will quickly learn how to use the most common tasks in Windows 95 and get answers to questions most asked by Windows 3.1 users. Yeah, when I was at school it was Windows 3.11 on 486's. High school that was. Okay. A file being copied is older than the one currently on my computer. It's recommended to keep it. Do you want to keep it? Yep. Look at that, we're finished. We're ready to restart and finish the setup. I can't remember if this is faster than it was on the old school mechanical drives. It's been quite a long time since I installed Windows 95. Getting ready to run Windows 95 for the first time. Look at that, we can enter our name and our password. So Windows is setting up your hardware and any plug-and-play devices you may have. Good thing about copying the Windows 95 files onto the drive and then installing it from that location is it can find the files it needs to without you having to put in a disk or change the path. I suppose that's a luxury we can enjoy now. Back in the day the hard disk wasn't big enough to be able to have the setup files on it. Creating the start menu. Making the floppy drives make a noise. Setting up our time zone, that's good. You must install a printer. Okay. Setup has finished configuring your system. You must restart it. Finalizing settings for your computer. Now we're going to need to install some drivers. Windows 95 setup needs more information. Okay, that looks good. Setting up Internet Explorer 4. So I downloaded I don't know, maybe it's an updated version of the Windows 95 setup files. So I think that means they put Internet Explorer 4 in it. Because the disk that I've got is for Windows 95A, the old one. I think I have another disk somewhere, but I'm not sure, and I have the book with the serial number on it, but I don't need that because I can just remember the serial number. I think this is going to take a long time, so we might have to come back once it's done. Then we've got drivers to do. Let's go and find those. Windows Explorer. I wonder if we can put a shortcut to Windows Explorer. Not out of the taskbar. There's a trick if you go here and details, go right to the bottom. Well, that was a Windows 2000 thing. There was a shortcut to Windows Explorer in the Windows directory from memory. So you could just grab that and stick it on your desktop or your quick launch. Okay, we need to configure this anyway. Should be done by type. Reasonable width. Although the options we set now are probably going to get overrun because it's going to do the desktop update. Yeah, we don't even have the option to configure this yet. Okay, I'll put a drivers folder there. So I found on the internet all the drivers for this model computer. So we're going to do the video driver first. And there's various other things. Sound, that's important. Found a USB mouse driver that's supposedly for Windows 95 and 98, so we'll have to play with that. I've got this audio cable, so once we get the audio set up, we should be able to hear it, if we're lucky. We'll come back once this Internet Explorer 4 has finished setting up. Okay, the Internet Explorer is still installing. Well, it's interesting that the captured video looks like it is in 800 by 600, but it's only displaying it as 640 by 480. There's black bars around the edge. I wonder if that means we can change the resolution to 800 by 600 without having the video driver installed yet. Oh, it looks like yeah, we gotta wait for this to finish before we can play around with other things. Gotta wait for it to optimize our system for better performance. That sounds good. Preparing to run Internet Explorer 4. A lot of activity. It's good there's a hard disk activity indicator on this computer, like all computers should have. I seem to forget to put that on modern computers. Though it's probably difficult to implement now. We've got things like NVMe drives, where they're not using a dedicated storage interface anymore. Oh, our active desktop has arrived. That's exciting. Let's see if we can put this to... No, we can't change it. Right. So I think Internet Explorer's finished setting up, so let's let's put on some drivers. Although it's still adding icons there. Anyway, let's see if we can put the video drivers in. I think this will extract it to somewhere. A drivers W9X display. Is that going to be conflicting because we're already in a drivers folder? Alright, we'll just do it anyway. Okay, so I made this folder here. Is that it? What that means is we need to look under folder options, set all this up to be good, classic style. Don't remember, display full path, don't hide the file types. Show all files. Show window contents when dragging, that's good. Okay, yes, so there are the drivers. So now we can do the setup of the folders. So we want it to be ordered by type. And now there's a button in here, so that will make them all show up like that, which is good, so it won't be confusing and annoying. So what that means is we need to go into Device Manager and then point it to this folder to load the display drivers. Maybe we can do it with this. Adapt it, change. Please wait while Windows builds a driver information database. Have disk, and we can point it to that folder. See drivers W9X display. I should pick it up. It's a Neo Magic Graph. That's exciting. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna have to restart to apply it. Look at that, now we've got full screen. That's good, I remembered where we were too. So now let's put the sound drivers in. We might need to adjust this a little bit. We want it like this so that it looks nice. No, this doesn't seem to want to know, does it? Classic style. That's strange. Okay, anyway, let's put on the sound drivers. So it's going to copy into that same folder, the audio folder. Let's go and look at that. It says a setup to run. Install drivers. It must be restarted to complete the installation, okay. We might have to play around in Device Manager to install all the bits and pieces that the sound needs. Oh, it's found some stuff. It's found an unknown device. Don't know what that is. If it was the sound, we can help it out by pointing it to the folder. Oh, it was, look at that. It's found a crystal plug and play audio system codec. Okay. We're gonna have to browse back to drivers 9X audio. Okay. More unknown devices. Oh, look at that. Crystal plug and play audio system control registers. joystick. Even though there's no joystick on this or a joystick port, that's good. MIDI stuff. Synthesizer stuff. Whoa, look at that. Got sound. That's great. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Some mic gain fix. Maybe we should install that anyway, just for fun. I think we really want a microphone. Says it's done. Did that put something in here? Don't know. Okay, there's an IR thing. It says enter to continue. Yes. But I don't really want to put it to a disk. I'm not sure if we can. Okay. That's a bit annoying. It said you can redirect it. Okay. We won't worry about that for now. There's a BIOS update. I don't know if that needs it. There's some USB things. Portable drive bay driver. Config utility. I don't know what else we need. Yeah, we'll ignore those ones. Okay, so from the Windows 95 CD there are USB drivers, and there's instructions on how to do this because I think it's difficult. It says you gotta do USB sup, then reboot, and then USB update to, then reboot. So we'll do USB sup. Although I don't know what do we have to do the OEM? Don't know. Is there a search? It doesn't mention the OEM one. So we're going to do sup first. USB sup. USB supplement. Yes. I was going to do a Scandisk first. Maybe we should have looked in Device Manager and seen if it was installed already. Okay, so it's there as an unknown device. Oh no, it's a working. Oh, I think it just doesn't have a category to go in. PCMCIA things disabled. Okay, so those are okay. That disabled in the hardware. Okay, that's probably because this is disabled. Wait for the Scandisk to finish. Presumably it's that USB driver that's doing it. I'm going to reboot after we've installed this. Okay, we might pause here for a bit and wait for this to get itself done. Okay, Microsoft USB support is installed. Now we gotta reboot. Okay, then we're gonna install that update. Okay, now we've got to do the other one, which is this. Does that mean it's done? Yes, so. And it said you had to restart after that one as well. It said it will run even if you do not get any indication that you need to reboot. If you do not perform both reboots, unpredictable results may occur. Okay, so let's reboot again then. Okay, then let's try installing this USB mouse thing. Not sure if this is a good idea or not. Okay, so you have to install yourself some mouseware. Let's go into Device Manager and have a look first what's happening in there. So we've got the USBs there. So let's try plugging a mouse in and see what it does. Maybe we should get a good one. We've got two mice to try. There's this nice Microsoft ball mouse here. It's a PS2 one, but it's got an adapter to USB. But that also does keyboard, so we'll see what happens when this plugs in. Does nothing. Nothing happened. There's also this one, which is it's a Microsoft Conception, whatever that means. I think that means it's a copy. You have to put it in upside down on this computer. Okay. I think there's something missing, because I'm sure it's supposed to come up with unknown device. So maybe there's more stuff we have to run. And maybe we need to do that as well. Do I want to keep it? Yep. Default hub driver. See, this looks important. Okay, maybe we should reboot again since we've done that. Okay, let's see if anything happens when we plug in the USB. Looks like the answer is no. Maybe we should enable this. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what the deal is with USB there. Would be able to get something happening. There is some more stuff here. Maybe we need to install those. Not sure what those are. That's another one of those ones that needs a floppy disk, which maybe we should try this. Oh, maybe this is important, an IBM USB hub. That sounds important. Let's install that. USB hub. Okay, so we have to go now to the place. Drivers. Or was it this hub? Windows 98 presumably. Let's see, if we point it to that folder, will it do anything useful? Take a copy of that and get to the other thingy. Do we want to have disk this? Maybe we need to do that option. Ah, yeah, that was what we're supposed to do. And then do this, and then put that in there. It does not. Okay. Fine, we'll just leave it like that then. I don't think that's changed anything running that. There wasn't really anything in there other than drivers. There's a cleanup. Unless we can install these. I wonder if that's a good idea. Oh, USB to parallel. Looks like FTDI COM port. I don't know if that will do anything. Anyway, there's more exciting things to play with because we've got some things like Monster Truck Madness Trial Edition. We've got DirectX 8 there. Let's install this. Winamp Need for Speed 2 demo. There's also some things off the Windows 95 CD. PaintShop Pro as well. Let's have a look in here. We have Microsoft Games, Monster Truck Madness. Remember playing this.
I'm Army Armstrong.
First computer
Get ready
we
for
owned.
the trial version of Microsoft's Monster Truck Madness.
Let's see if we can make it high quality. I don't know if we can use that or not. Let's give this a burn.
Get ready. Go! This is where the fear starts.
Boys.
Carolina pressure. Bigfoot is taking the long way home. Bigfoot is doing it in the air.
A hay bale left over from last time. We should go over that. Maybe not. Try and win the race. Used to play this a lot. Way back in 96 maybe. Used to just drive all over the place. I don't know if I ever actually tried to race it properly. I'd just go for a drive anywhere I felt like. Oh no! I think we're... oh no, we got another lap to go.
Now for a ride of a different sort.
Because the computer we had back then, the first PC that I had access to, had this trial version on it. Along with Microsoft Golf and Carter 96.
Has won the race.
Awesome. That's exciting.
Hey, that's enough tire kicking for you. If you want the real deal, go out and buy your own Monster Truck Madness game wherever your favorite Microsoft software games are sold.
Awesome. Perhaps we should do some Need for Speed now. Okay. Oh, I should have chosen a directory to extract it to. Oh well. That means it's going into that folder. Anyway. $1997. Do remember playing this back then too. What sort of options have we got? Already as hard out as it can be. Didn't play this very much, but my brother did. He liked this game. Not very lifelike, is it, if you just hold the accelerator on full for almost all of the game? Guess that's what you get when there's no proportional control on a standard keyboard. Ooh, don't want to go in the trees. Oh no! Oh, we're now around the wrong way. Oh dear. Whoa, that's a steep corner.
final lap.
There's one guy right out in front. Wonder if we can catch up. Oh no, I'm losing control of it. Whoa! No! Oh no! He zoomed past. Get around these corners. No. Yeah, losing the placing. Push too many keys at once.
Best lap.
There you go, 5th place. Very crazy driving. Well, that's good. Okay, we've got to install PaintShop Pro 7, that's important. I keep forgetting there's no scroll button on there. I suppose we use this. Alright. PaintShop Pro 7 Anniversary Edition. I'm pretty sure this is the latest one that you can install on Windows 95. And I've probably been... I'd say I've been using PaintShop Pro since version 5, maybe? Now I'm up to 9, which is very old now, but it's the last good version that they made before it got changed to Coral and made very difficult to use. And they removed some important features like the file browser. Really need Anniversary Edition shapes, or alien skin filters, or flaming pear filters. Suppose we can have some virtual painters. We don't need a product tour. Don't really need any tutorials. I know how to use it. We don't really need picture frames. We might as well do some, but keep those. Don't really know what that is. Oh, what I forgot to bring onto this drive was Protel99, the PCB design software. That should work well on Windows 95. Still works on Windows 10. Still use it a bit at work to edit older PCB designs, although most of them have migrated to Altium now. Altium, big and slow compared to Protel, which just does what you want with no messing about. like a lot of things did in the good old days. Good old days of Windows 95 and Windows 98. Windows 2000 was quite good. Probably the last good Microsoft operating system before it turned into just an ugly mess that's slow and bloated. Although Windows 10 looks quite nice, except they've now wrecked that with Windows 11 back to being rounded and ugly. What a shame. Okay, don't really want to look at the important information. We'll get the icon on the desktop. We've got to restart. Okay. Windows 95 sure likes restarting. Look at that, we've got an icon on the desktop now for PaintShop Pro. Let's try it out. That's good. Yeah, I don't know what we should probably have a look at what our well, we better remember to send in that enclosed card. So you need to go remove all, and then they've changed it a little bit. File format associations. You just need to turn on their one, and that's all you need. Let's have a look at the color settings. There we go. That should probably be set. I think we can't put it on. Well, we can put it on 24-bit 800 by 600, so it's got enough video RAM for that. Let's do it without restarting. We don't need to restart. Okay, 24-bit. Look at that. Now the color palette is nice. Let me get rid of these thingies. And the newer version, this is 7. So version 8 and onwards, these things can dock, and it became a bit easier to use. It's got the browser, which is good. That's the most useful part of, or one of the most useful parts of PaintShop Pro. Just have to go to Preferences, Miscellaneous, turn off the splash screen because I don't really want to look at that. And then on the browser, make this a bit wider. And make it so it's not flat. So it saves browse files to the disk, which is really useful, so that next time it will load up and it'll let you reorder the thumbnails, and then when you come back into it, the order is preserved, which is very helpful in managing your pictures. Great. This probably does. Screen capturing, and the default one will be when you right click and then you click and drag it. Yep, and the hotkeys still work. R for cropping. It's more useful to set the screen capture to, I usually just do it on full screen and right mouse click to do it. So you just go Shift C, and then when you're ready, you right click and it does the capture, and then you can crop as necessary and Control Alt N. Since there's no wheel on the mouse, which is what you normally use to zoom in and out, got this thing. Except I don't know how to zoom out on that. Thought it would be belt or space or something. So the brush tool. Oh, the keys are a bit different to the newer version. So it would be T for text on the new one. Yeah, A for the hand tool. But R for cropping is still the same. G for preset shapes, which doesn't have a key associated with it in this version. Very good. Next we'll try Protel in a bit, and then call it a day for Windows 95. I think we've done some exciting stuff on it. It's a bit disappointing we couldn't get the USB to work. I'm not sure what the deal is there. I thought it would at least come up as an unknown device, but apparently not. I've copied Protel99 onto the drive so we can install that and try it out. I also have found Office 97 Professional Edition, so we will install that and see how that goes. Protel99 SE is there. Let's install it. Oh, we'll have to type in a code. Okay. Now let's do a custom installation. What do we want to install? Maybe we'll install all the stuff that seems exciting. Oh, not sure how long this will take. Problem with this application is it puts a heap of stuff in the Windows system directory, which makes it a bit difficult on modern systems like Windows 10, but you can get it to install and run fine if you make sure to run the installers as administrator. We'll come back once this is finished installing. Okay, we're nearly done the copying files. That's good. And now we've got to install the service pack. Yeah, I think we agree to that. It's found the installation, so it's now going to update the files. Let's have a look how much disk space we have remaining. Okay, we've used nearly half of the drive. Should also have a look at Paint, since that's a good thing to do on computers. There's nothing in the startup folder. Look at that. It's a good Windows 95 Paint. You can see the track point is very good, much better than those annoying touchpad things that computers have these days. With this you don't need to swipe your finger around, you just push it in the direction you want to go. It has very precise control, slow or fast movement, however you want. Yeah, they should be using this on computers these days. A lot better experience. At least with Lenovo computers you still get this thing. Successfully installed the service pack, that's good. I think we can just run it now. I've put a design there that we can take a look at. Okay, we should just check the keys. Okay, it looks like the serial number worked. So we can open the design. There is a bunch of examples. Guess we should have a look at one of those. It's just how we remember it from back in the day. Oh, not that long ago, because we still use it sometimes. Don't need the toolbars because we remember all the hotkeys. Excellent. So this is one of their boards, an example that comes with it. Page up and page down to zoom, obviously, and right click and drag to pan. It looks like it's been auto routed, it's a bit of a mess. Okay. Let's have a look in my project. compact flash, which is not the compact flash card, it's a photo flash that I designed, which I think has a simulation. Yeah, simulated the input rectifier circuit, simulated power supply. Anyway, this is the actual schematic. It's a photo flash. It's got on the input there 115 volts mains input. Then there's a triac to enable it, just to start and stop the charging. And then there's a full-wave voltage doubler circuit. So on the AC, the current limiting resistor, what it will do is alternately charge up these caps on depending on positive or negative cycle of the AC mains voltage, and then that causes voltage doubling because you've charged each one of these to the peak of the mains AC waveform. So the total in series is double that. You end up with about 310, 320 depending on the mains voltage on this main capacitor, and it's current limited slightly by the resistor there and the impedance of the capacitors. And there's a glow prevention circuit there. When it sees the main capacitor discharging suddenly, it will turn on this optocoupler, which then prevents the charging from being enabled by switching the triac off. There's the connections to the flash tube, and there's a triac there to trigger the flash trigger capacitor. So that trigger capacitor gets charged up through the winding, and then to fire the flash, this triac gets turned on and that discharges the capacitor through the transformer suddenly, and that creates a high voltage to trigger the flash tube. Down the bottom left corner there's the charge controller, which senses the DC bus here, and a voltage divider, a comparator, TL431 reference, and a trim pot to set the level. And what that will do is it will turn on the triac until the DC bus reaches the set level, and then that will inhibit the charging. And there's quite a strong positive feedback there, so there's a fairly wide hysteresis margin on it. I think it's around 10 volts on the DC bus. Usually, because the flash capacitors are very low leakage, it doesn't self-discharge very much, so it just charges up to the level and then sits there. It's not constantly turning this triac on and off because the hysteresis is pretty wide and the leakage of the flash capacitor is low. Now the final part of the circuit down here is triggering. There's input isolation, triggering. The trigger signal comes in somewhere. There's sync input there. Comes up to here, and that's a pull up. And there's a little logic buffer, and then the output of that goes to trigger the triac to fire the flash. Then separately to that, there's a ready output. So that's when the charger turns off, this optocoupler gets, I think, switched on, and that then gets inverted by a transistor a couple of times. I think this could have been simplified in some way. There's a ready light which comes on when it's charged, and then there's this 555 trigger set up as a one-shot that puts a pulse onto this buzzer, so it makes a beep noise when it's finished charging. Here is the actual thing, the photo flash. All tangled up. So it's got a test button on it, the sync input, a power switch, and the hot shoe adapter to go on the camera. So when we turn it on, beeps when it's ready. And there's a test button. works well. So inside here there's a piece of Vero board and with all the parts on it, and to design that to get the most compact possible layout, I drew up a representation of the Vero board on a PCB and then placed the components. The blue lines, which is normally the bottom copper, represents the tracks on the Vero board, and then the red lines, which is normally the top side copper, that represents the wire links. And then I put in those green dots there to show the holes in the Vero board to help count it out. They've made vertical resistor footprints, and there's a couple of different versions of them for jumping one space or two spaces or no space. And it came up with this arrangement which packs everything in as tight as possible. There's an input fuse, the limiting resistor over the top of that, the track there, other bits and pieces, the trigger for the track. There's a comparator there, there's the trim pot, and there's the ready and the sync optocouplers. 555 is there, and the ready LED and the test button come off here. Trigger transformer down here with its SCR there and the trigger capacitor. The main capacitor is DC bus capacitor there, and that lies down flat, and then the flash is out the front. The capacitor I used to start with wasn't a photo flash capacitor, and that didn't work very well. It's since been changed for a whole grouping of photo flash capacitors, because that's what I had on hand at the time. This whole project was made with what I had lying around at the time. I didn't buy anything new to build this, and then designed, 3D printed the housing. I have some photos of what's inside it. The Vero board with the parts on it. Then there's a little tray which sits above that, which holds the power supplies, which are phone chargers. One of them's been modified to produce about 10 volts rather than 5 volts. The intention of this was to design the smallest, fastest recycle time plug-in flash that I could with what I had lying around at the time, and that seems to be achieved, and it's been used to take thousands of photos successfully. The way you use this is it sits on the bench or a table or desk and points up at a white ceiling, which then gives a nice diffused light. I think the light output is somewhere around 80 or 90 watt seconds or joules. Very good, so that's Protel99. You can do all your PCB work nice, quickly, easily. Just use the hotkeys. Tab, change the width, 1mm track. Change layers with star, which is a bit difficult to get to on this keyboard. Alt backspace for undo, obviously. I don't need to save any changes to that. Okay, let's install Office on the computer. Oh, we've got to install Winamp too, that's another thing we haven't done yet. Let's just put Winamp on there. It needs some of these extra bits, I'll just save that for a minute. Winamp. Don't really want to associate it with files, that's annoying. Probably don't need a quick launch. We don't have an internet connection.
Winamp. It really whips the llama's ass.
Excellent, there's Winamp. Used that a lot back in the day. Let's install Office. It's good that we got the professional version. though I'm not sure what the difference is. I also have to enter the serial number off the back of the CD here. Okay, that's fine. We'll install it to the default place. Let's customize the installation. What things do we want? We probably want Excel, that sounds good. Don't really need these other things. I probably don't want that. Data access tools. Those might be useful. Don't need a shortcut. We don't really want a assistant. Popular clip art, I guess we should have some of that. Definitely don't want any Lotus stuff. Getting results book. Converters and filters. I guess so. We've got 99999 space available, that's good. Okay, let's install that stuff. Get the most out of Microsoft Office 97 by registering your software. If you register online, you will be eligible to access exclusive content for Office 97 users at the Microsoft Office website. Office 97 makes it easy to organize the information. Office 97 introduces Microsoft Outlook, although we didn't pick that to install it. I think this is installing faster than they thought it would. Must be an awesome compact flash drive. Create rich documents with hyperlinks to Office files. The Publish to Web wizard in Microsoft Access. We didn't install that. The versioning in Word lets you track and manage all versions of a document over time within one document. Create graphically rich documents with 3D effects, flow charting. Auto clip art intelligently suggests appropriate presentation clip art sounds and videos. That sounds exciting. IntelliSense technology at work. I think that's different to Microsoft IntelliMice. Like this good thing. Best type of mouse. Still use these every day at work and at home. With the ball, obviously, because I want accuracy. None of that optical rubbish. Jumping around all over the place and difficult to control. Setup is updating the system. Creating a list of duplicate files that can be removed. Okay, it was successfully installed. I wonder if we have to restart. Doesn't look like it. That's good. I don't know about this thing. Is it useful? Welcome to active channels. We're getting a quick overview of active channels. Some sort of full screen web browser thing. Okay. Well, that's good. Okay, that's good. Alright, we should be able to start up Word and Excel. I think that's correct. Look at that, we've got Word. And it's the good Word, it doesn't have the stupid ribbon thing on it. This one you can actually use. All we have to do is change it to use a nicer font by default. That's better. When you have a bigger monitor, what I would do is put that toolbar up there so that it doesn't waste so much space. But this is a low resolution. So you have to go to Format Font and then change that. Add to template. Apply. And I think that will now fix it so that you get a nice font each time you start Word. Good. Great. Let's write something. Let's have a play in Excel. There's no Windows key on this. Too old for that. That doesn't matter. There you go, that's Excel. You can make a chart with some numbers and things. All that good stuff. And then press F11 to make a chart. There you go, done. Easy and efficient. There you go, let's put in a table. There you go. Good table. So it's got everything you need, and they had all that back in 1997. Do you want to save changes made to the document? They've changed the wording of that now. Now they say something like, there are unsaved changes, want to save? It's very sloppy. There's one more thing that I thought of that I'm still bothered that we haven't got the USB port to do anything. And I was wondering if maybe if this got removed and we rebooted, would it come back as a different device that actually works? Okay, something's happening. A standard universal PCI to USB. So I found a driver. Now let's check in the other folder where we put. That was this thing here. Okay, so that doesn't have anything. I'm not sure if there's any other places we can choose. There is some stuff in here, but I don't think that's what we want. Okay, we'll just keep that one then. No, it wants to find something. See where we can get that from. Maybe that comes out of this folder. No. That was the USB mouse. So this stuff must already, if it's not in here, oh, it is in there. Okay, so why didn't it find it itself? It's not happy about that for some reason. Maybe it's in the Windows system directory. Okay. Found something else. Oh, a USB root hub. I don't think that existed before. Maybe that changes it. Maybe it will work now. Let's have a look. Oh, that's better. Look at that. Now it's actually got some thingies there. Maybe we'll have a better chance at getting the mouse to work now. Okay, let's plug this mouse in and see what happens. Whoa, look at that. Got an unknown device. Now this is where I thought we could install the driver from here. because it's a random USB mouse driver that I found. Nope. I guess not. I wonder if we should try installing this. I really just want a generic mouse driver, but I didn't find it. I could not find one. Let's see what this has to say. Install mouseware. The other thing we should try is a USB hub, see if that does anything. There was one sitting around here somewhere. I guess we should look at a README. If we have to replug this now, or if you have to reboot it. Do you have to finish reading that before it will finish the setup? We've got to restart. Okay. A generic little USB 2 hub. See if that works. I don't think I have any USB 1 hubs. They're not really a thing anymore. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it's got a scroll thing when you push both buttons. Okay. I don't know about that. Alright. Okay. Good, let's plug in this hub and see if that does anything useful. Let's found something. A generic USB hub. It's probably not going to have any drivers for it though. Oh no, it does. Okay. Well, that's good. Something worked on the USB port. Let's have a look in Device Manager. Does that mean we've got a generic hub? Look at that. What about a flash drive? It's a SD card with a built-in USB port. We'll try connecting it. It's an unknown device. So I don't think we can do anything about that, unfortunately. What about the mouse? Does that work now? No, it's still an unknown device. Okay, what about the other mouse, which has the USB PS2 adapter thing on it? No, it's also an unknown device. Maybe those things are too complicated. Okay, I found another keyboard and mouse. Maybe these are a bit more generic, and we'll try them. Another unknown device. Another unknown device. Yeah, okay. We're gonna have to get some drivers from somewhere before any of this stuff will work. Okay, I've extended the wire from the USB hub, so that makes it easier to see. I've put some files onto the disk. I use this as a USB compact flash reader to do that. So now we have WinZip 7, and supposedly that will work. Let's try it. Yeah, we agree to that. Classic, we don't want wizards. Let's have a look at what we get to choose from in the custom setup. We'll associate it, we don't really want shell extensions, that's annoying. We'll just put it in the start menu, we don't want to clutter the desktop. Good. Don't want tips, we just want to use it. Here we go, wins it. That means now we can unzip that thing, that game. Except I actually already did it because I didn't know this was going to work, so it has already been unzipped to here. But here we've proven that it is possible. Let's have a look. Auto detect sound. Good. Good. Save and quit. Across. I don't know who those people are. Best, I guess. Wonder if you can make that bigger. Nope, that's it. Okay, presumably that's going to work. I have vague memories of this, but I can't exactly remember what you're supposed to do. It appears the sound's not working. Oh, you have to hit the flower, is it? Without his head touching the ground. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I want to know why the sound's not working, because I remember it having quite good sound. Disappointing without the sound. Oh, we did it! Pretty soft suspension on this bike. Alright. Okay, I found some more drivers for USB. So let's have a look at that. I put them in this folder. This thing here supposedly includes storage and mouse and keyboard drivers. Found on some random forum on the internet. Oh, okay. They said it was for Windows 95. see, what did it put in there? Well, that's not very exciting then, is it? Does that mean there's a special way to run that? The other thing I found was this X USB. Okay, so I've done that stuff there. Do we just need to run this? Oh, it says don't use on a system where the original one has already been installed. So I guess we can't do that then. Just remove all. Open device manager, remove all remaining USB devices. Maybe we can do it then. Start with a clean boot of the system. I don't really want to go through the hassle of that. What was the other thing? This one here. I don't know what this is, maybe we should just run it. See what this has to say. USB. This looks more interesting. This looks more like a driver that we can pick up. So let's plug that in. And let's see if we can point it to this place. That. Okay. I wonder if that's either pointing to here. Yep. Oh, okay. That's a bit disappointing. Maybe it's not as easy as we hoped. I don't think any more drives have shown up, have they? Maybe you gotta restart, or maybe it just will never work because we haven't followed the instructions properly. System failure. Okay, perhaps we'll reboot and we'll see if that changes anything. Oh, a USB mesh storage port. That seems more promising. Look at that, a removable disk has shown up. And then it's got good stuff on it too. Cool Edit Pro 2. And some drivers for other computers. Also some versions of Winamp. That's good. I wonder what happens when you want to remove it. Since there's no tray remove thing. You can eject it from there. Does that count as ejected? It has, okay. Well, that's good. Perhaps now we can try the micro drives. Let's see if this works. Let's see if we can read that micro drive. Yeah, maybe you gotta reboot after every plugged in drive. Something's happening. Let's have a look. Although, yeah, that drive wasn't very happy, so it might not work. It's there, supposedly. Just hasn't come up. Okay. Just one more interesting thing to try. I got this thing, which is an SD card to compact flash, and I was going to install Windows on that, but the IDE mode of it didn't seem to work. I think it's to do with the supporting UDMA. Reading online, they said that most IDE to compact flash adapters don't have the right lines pulled in the right direction for that to work. This thing is pretty dodgy. It bulges outwards. I think there's a chip on the back of this and the board's been squished. Let's see if it comes up. Look at that, it came up. There you go, and we can access the files again. Okay, let's safe eject that. Gotta be safe. I want to try one more thing. Supposedly Windows supports USB keyboard and mouse out of the box. So let's go searching for drivers. They must exist already somewhere in the system. There must be a place on here where the drivers already exist, like in the System32 drivers folder or under inf. But you'd think if that was possible, Windows would be able to find them itself. So that's the stuff we've already looked at. That Dell thing is a bit frustrating. I don't think we can point it into there. Oh. Nope. Stuff from the Windows CD is only those which have already run. Inf has got all the various drivers. Not sure if there's anything in here. Maybe they don't exist. Maybe we can select it. So this is a mouse. Doesn't seem to be any options for USB. Let's try the... We put some drivers on here. Acer. I wonder if that will do it. Oh, we need to use the right control keys in the wrong places still. No. Up one. No. That's probably already been done. Okay, another thing to try. Here's a Windows 98 CD. I wonder if that would have drivers on it. There's a drivers folder. Okay, get rid of that. So there's a drivers folder, input drivers. Mouse. Why isn't that expanding? so that we can see where we are. One moment. Let's try pointing it to the Windows 98 folder. Oh, it's going to look on the CD. So in here, Acer drivers mouse, Windows 98. No. Alright then. Okay, I tried to restart to see if the key mouse drive would be picked up on booting, and it said that, well, it just got stuck at the Find New Hardware Wizard and wouldn't do anything. So I rebooted it and wants to do a Scandisk now, and it reckons there's something wrong with the disk, maybe. But anyway, it's doing a scan. It looks like it's doing a full scan, which is probably going to take a really long time. So we'll just leave it going for a while and come back later. Okay, got to the end and it said there's some problems found. Some data is stored in a damaged area, might already be lost. You can move it to an undamaged area. Okay, let's do that. Fix. Okay, is it gonna carry on now? At least one area of drive C has sustained physical damage. It's often a sign of impending hardware failure. Alright. Now, will it install the mouse? Not likely. I think that's what we determined. Oh, that's right. This is how it crashed in the first place, because it got to this point and then got stuck and won't do anything. So I think we should just give up on the USB keyboard and mouse because it does not work. And I have not been able to find any drivers to make it work, and when you try to install it, the computer just crashes, and then the only thing you can do is reboot it, and then you have to do a Scandisk and it corrupts the disk, so that's very exciting. The system is busy. Okay, we'll turn it off then. Yeah, so for some reason it can't access the floppy drive when it finds new hardware on boot up and the computer hangs. I don't know what that means or why it's doing that. We have to do this Scandisk business again. That's fine. Drive D. Okay. Oh, that's what was the CD, which I removed. Okay, we've had a play with various things. Let's just have a look at Internet Explorer version 4. There you go, that's Internet Explorer version 4. That's how we used to use the internet. Very good. Doesn't come with very exciting games, but I have added some. Windows games. Tetris, that's the only important game. Let's play this. Starting a level. Yeah, that's probably good enough. We might be making some problems for ourselves. This version of Tetris is pretty stingy on the eyepieces. Oh, it can be. Oh. Probably won't be able to dig that out without causing other issues. And there you go. Probably not going to give any more eyepieces because it knows you need them. Oh, it's getting more difficult. Maybe we wrecked it. Okay, it's a little bit quick now. Alright, we got up to level 9, that's okay I think. Let's defrag the hard disk as a final activity, since there's an interesting thing to watch. Although with this solid state drive, it doesn't really need it. %, frame rated. Okay. Still want to look at the thing. This is something you can spend hours watching. So I think we've achieved most of the goals. We got Windows 95 set up on the computer. We got important drivers installed. Played some games. Installed and ran some software. Show how much nicer the user interface is in Windows 95 compared to any modern operating system. Software companies have a lot to learn. And this is a bit of a boring defrag since it's not fragmented in the first place. Well, there's a bit of stuff to move around. You don't get to do exciting things like this now with modern solid-state drives. Give you a legend. So there's data that will not be moved. And there's also bad or damaged. Maybe we'll see some of those at the end.